Good morning, student. I, Dr. Kailas Sanap from NB Mehta Science College, Bodi, welcomes you all in my first lecture, Introduction to Desktop Industry. This is your first chapter of DICE syllabus. So, we will discuss this chapter, Introduction to Desktop Industry. Now, what are dyes? What are dyes? See, in nature, we will see different types of colors. If we see plants, if we see plants, these plants are having different shades of green color, different shades of green colors. Their leaves contain different shades of green color. If we see flowers, if we see flowers of plant, that flowers are having different types of color: red, green, orange, pink, purple, black. All these types of colors are observed in flowers of plant. If we see again birds in nature, these birds are having very nice colors. If we see blue jay is one of the bird, is having very typical blue color. So all these colors are associated with us. All these colors are associated with us. So we can say there is very important role of color in the life of human being. There is a very important role of color in the life of human being. So let us see now how we can define a dye. How we can define a dye. Dye or a dye stuff. Dye or a dye stuff is a color organic compound or a mixture. Dye or a dye stuff is a color organic compound or a mixture when applied to the substrate. When applied to the substrate, it imparts its color to that substrate. So this is what a dye. Now what are the types of substrate? What are the types of substrate? Substrate mostly is what? Textile material. Substrate is mostly what? Textile material. Textile material means what? Our clothes. Okay, our clothes is one of the good textile material. Garments. Okay, again there are many lot of textile materials are used in day-to-day life. So this is one of the most important substrate for dye-stuff industry is textile. Rather than textile, there may be a plastic, there may be a papers, there may be a leather. Again, there may be a cosmetic material, foodstuff material, drug material. So in all these dyes are used. So if we think about cosmetics, drug or a foodstuff industry, where we have to use non-toxic dyes, because cosmetics is we are going to use cosmetic on a skin, different parts of skin. So if we are using there a toxic material, toxic part of dye, toxic dye, then it will have some allergic reaction on our skin. Again, in drug or in foodstuff material, we cannot use toxic dye because we have to introduce that drug or a foodstuff material in our body. So we cannot use their toxic dyes. Photography, if we think about photographic films, okay, photography, there we have to use light sensitive dyes. There we have to use light sensitive dyes. Now next point is what? All color substances are dyes. All color substances are dyes. Will you think over it? Can all color substances are dyes? No, not all color substances are not dyes. This is not possible. Okay, one more example. Azobenzene. See, azobenzene, This is a orange color solid. See, this is a what? Azobenzene. It's a orange color solid. Even though it's a orange color solid, but it's not a dye. Why it's not a dye? Because it does not get attached to a substrate. It does not get attached to a substrate. That means substrate or a dye, there should be some strong bonding between dye molecule and substrate. If there will be a strong bonding between dye molecule and a substrate, then there will be a, that compound will become a dye molecule. Otherwise that compound is not, even though it's a color, but it's not a dye molecule. Okay, let's see next. Requirements of good dyes. Requirements of good dyes. See, there are some requirements of good dyes: chromophore, oxochrome, substantivity, solubility, linearity and coplanarity, and economic viability. These are the what some requirements of a good dye. A good dye molecule should have these property. Dye molecule should have these property. Dye molecule should have these requirement. Dye molecule should satisfy these requirements. Once again I am repeating it: chromophore and oxochromes, substantivity, solubility, linearity and coplanarity, and economic viability. We will see these properties one by one. First, let us see. First requirement of dye molecule is what? It should have chromophoric system and oxochromic system, and there should be a extensive conjugation between chromophoric system and a oxochromic system. Now, what are chromophores? Chromophores are unsaturated functional group which are responsible for absorption of light. They are what? Unsaturated functional group present within the molecule, and they are responsible for absorption of light. Now, which are these functional group? Which are these unsaturated functional group? It may be a carbon-carbon double bond. It may be a carbon-nitrogen double bond, imino. It may be a carbon-oxygen double bond, carboxyl. It may be a N double bond N, azo. It may be a carbon-nitrogen triple bond, cyano. Nitroso, N double bond O, nitro. So these are what? Some unsaturated functional group. If these unsaturated functional groups are present in the molecule, they are responsible for absorption of light. These are what? Chromophores. Now, what are oxochromes? Oxochromes are saturated functional group. Oxochromes are what? Saturated functional group. If these saturated functional group are present in the molecule, they are not responsible for absorption of light. They are not responsible for absorption of light. But if they are present, they will increase intensity of color. They will increase what? Intensity of color. Again, if they are present in the molecule, they will help to increase solubility of that dye molecule. Now, which are these functional group? It may be a phenolic OH. It may be a phenolic ether OR. It may be a NH2. It may be a NHR. It may be a anilide NHCOCH3. It may be a thiol. It may be a halide X. It may be a carboxylic acid COOH, and it may be a sulfonic acid SO3H. So these are some oxochromic system. These are what? Some oxochromic system. They are present in organic molecule, and they are responsible for, they are not responsible for absorption of light, but if they are present, they will increase intensity of colors. Now, here I have shown you two examples. One is what? This orange 4 dye, and this is what? Bismarck brown dye. Now see, in orange 4 dye, this NH is acting as oxochromic cysteine, while this SO3Na is also acting as oxochromic cysteine, and this C double bond C, N double bond N, they are acting as chromophoric cysteine. Now in Bismarck Brown, there are 4 NH2 functionality which are acting as oxochromes, while N double bond N, that is azo functionality, and carbon carbon double bond, all these carbon carbon double bond and N double bond N functionality are acting as chromophoric functionality, are acting as chromophores in this molecule. Okay, now let's move further. Next property is substantivity. See, substantivity is nothing but affinity between dimolecule and the substrate. There should be a strong bonding between dimolecule and substrate. So this strong bonding is nothing but what? Affinity of dimolecule towards substrate. It's called substantivity. This is one of the most important requirement of a dimolecule. There should be a good affinity. That good affinity is nothing but what? Substantivity. Now, what kind of force exists between these dimolecule and a substrate? This force may be a physical force or even chemical bonding may also exist between substrate and dimolecule. Now, how substantivity can be increased? That means how this affinity of a dimolecule and substrate can be increased. It can be increased if that dimolecule is having phenolic OH functionality. If it is having sulfonic acid functional group. If such type of functional group are present in dimolecule, then substantivity can be increased. Next property is solubility. See, when we have to apply dimolecule to the substrate, when we have to apply a dimolecule to the substrate, then we will require its solution. We will require its solution. That means that dimolecule should be soluble in aqueous medium or in organic medium. Then and then only we can apply that dimolecule to the substrate. That means what? Dimolecule should be soluble in either in aqueous medium or in organic medium. So, which makes these dimolecule are soluble in organic medium or in aqueous medium? If that dimolecule is having functionality like phenolic OH, sulfonic acid, okay, NH2. So these type of polar functionality increase that solubility of dimolecule either in aqueous medium or in organic medium. Okay. So next property is linearity and coplanarity. The structure and shape of the dimolecules affects the affinity between dimolecules and the fibers. That means structure and shape of dimolecule is one of the important factor that is affecting the affinity of that dimolecule with that substrate. Now, if fiber is a linear, fiber and our dimolecule is also a linear, then that dimolecule will get holds on that linear fiber as both are linear. So there will be a good bonding between that dimolecule and a fiber. Okay, now if fiber is linear but our dimolecule is what? Having coplanar structure. Dimolecule is having coplanar structure is nothing but what? Like a three-dimensional structure. Then there will be a good bonding also there will be a good bonding of that coplanar dimolecule with that fiber. There will be a extensive resonance between that dimolecule because it is having coplanar structure. So because of that extensive resonance, there will be a increase in intensity of color. Now also coplanar, if dimolecule is coplanar that is coplanar, if dimolecule is having coplanar structure, there will be a increase in van der Waals forces of attraction. So this is what linearity and coplanarity. Next property is economic viability. Economic viability means what? Economic aspect of dyestuff industry. That means it's related to what? Money. Now we know dyes are prepared in huge quantities. Dye or a dyestuff are prepared in what? Huge quantity, and they are applied on vast number of fibers. They are applied on vast number of fibers or fabrics. So we will want cheaper starting material. We will require what? Cheaper raw material to synthesize this dye molecule. If we are not having cheaper raw material to synthesize this dye molecule, then there will be a increase in cost. There will be a increase in cost. So we will require cheaper raw material to synthesize this dye molecule. Now next is what? Dye molecule. This dye molecule should get synthesized in minimum stage. Should get synthesized in minimum steps. That means if fewer steps of that reaction, if there are fewer steps of reaction, that will be a economically feasible. Economically feasible. Otherwise, if there are more number of steps, so it is not economically feasible. If number of steps of a organic reaction or a synthesis of dye molecule is increased, then its economic aspects, that means its cost of production will get increased. So there should be a less number of steps in the synthesis of dye molecule. Again, if when we are preparing a dye molecule, then there should be a very simple application. That means dye molecule should be prepared in simple steps. That means without use of high temperature and high pressure. These are what? Economic viability. Up to previous slide, we have seen requirements of good dye stuff. First we have seen chromophore, oxochrome, then substantivity, solubility, linearity and coplanarity, and lastly we have seen economic viability. So for a good dye stuff, there should be a, these are the requirement. Now here we will see some fastness properties of dyes. Now what is meant by fastness? The ability of substrate to retain its color when exposed to various agents. The ability of a substrate to retain color when it exposed to certain agents. Which are these agents? Light, washing, heat, perspiration, rubbing, bleaching. So when we are going to expose our printed fabric or a dyed fabric to certain these agents, so that dyed fabric or a printed fabric, it should retain its colors. This is called their fastness properties. Now we will see all these fastness properties one by one. Let's see first property, fastness light fastness. When a dyed or a printed fabric is exposed to sunlight, then some portion of light is absorbed by that fabric, and then there will be a destruction of that fabric will occur. Now self-destruction of dye molecule will occur in the presence of oxygen or moisture present in the environment. So because of that, there will be a permanent fading of fiber will occur. Permanent fading of fiber will occur means what? If that fiber initially is having bright color, now that fiber will get converted, or that fiber will have a dull color. So this permanent fading of fiber is called phototropism. This permanent fading of fiber is called phototropism. So this is what? Nothing but a light fastness. So what I can say, a dye or a fabric should have good light fastness property. If that fabric or a dye molecule is having good light fastness property, then such type of phenomenon will not occur. Now see here, I have shown a green fabric. When we are exposing it to the sunlight, then there is what? Change of that green color of fabric. Now initially it was having bright color, now it is having a somewhat dull color. So this what the permanent fading of color, permanent fading of fiber is called phototropism. This is called phototropism. Now let's see second fastness property, washing fastness. A dye molecule should have good washing fastness property. Means what? When we are washing two or more clothes together, two or more fibers together, then that fiber should not leave its original color in the solution. Otherwise, what will happen? If some fiber left its original color in the solution, then that color will get absorbed by another fiber. So this is what, that fiber is not having good washing fastness property. Now see here, fiber A is having light color while fiber B is having dark color or a bright color. Now when we will wash these two fibers together, fiber A will get stained by the color of fiber B. That means fiber B is not having good washing fastness property. So this is what the light fastness and washing fastness. Now let's move further. Next fastness property is perspiration fastness. Next fastness property is what? Perspiration fastness. Perspiration means what? Sweat of human. Sweat of human. That sweat of human, it may be a acidic or it may be alkaline. So dye molecule, it should be stable to human's perspiration. Dye molecule should be stable to human perspiration. Otherwise, what will happen? See, this type of fading will occur. Here also there is fading of color. If dye molecule is not stable to what? Human perspiration, then such type of fading will occur. That means dye molecule should have good perspiration fastness. Now next fastness property is what? Heat fastness. Next fastness property is what? Heat fastness. Now heat fastness means what? Dye molecule should be stable to heating condition. Dye molecule should be stable to heating condition. Now where this heating condition required for a dye molecule? See, ceramic plates we are having in kitchen. There are many crockeries that having very ceramic material, and that ceramic material is having good dye molecule. That means there is very beautiful color. See here I have shown some dishes, okay, some plates. Suppose if we are taking any hot cooked material and we are pouring in this plate, then what will happen? If this dye molecule is not stable to heat, then this dye molecule will get decomposed. Then this dye molecule of this plate, of this material will get decomposed. That means this material, what this, it's dyed, okay, so this dyed material should have good stability towards heat. This is what? Nothing but the heat fastness. Next property, let's see, rubbing fastness. Next property is what? Rubbing fastness. Dyes should have resistance toward rubbing. Okay, dyes molecule should have resistance toward rubbing. See, you know, leather bags, hand gloves, jackets, leather shoes. See, suppose this material is dyed, then there will be a lot of rubbing is taking place. Suppose lot of rubbing is taking place, then because of this rubbing means what? We are making friction of one material over another. So what will happen? Because of this rubbing, there will be some color will get removed out. Some color of that material will get removed out. This is what? The rubbing. See here I have shown this mat having, initially it is having dark brown color. Person is taking some white material. Person has taken some white material and it is rubbing over that dark material, so it's left some its color. That means this white material now gets reddish in color. So that means this material, this brown material is not having good rubbing fastness. Okay. Similarly, you are wearing jeans. Okay. So these jeans, suppose if we are carrying out, that means if we are wearing these jeans many times, so we are sitting here and there and we are keeping our bags, our tiffins at the time of sitting anywhere. So suppose if you are traveling in train or in bus, you are keeping your bags on your thighs. Okay, so what will happen, some rubbing will occur and there will be some removal of some color. So this is what nothing but a rubbing fastness. That means these two material is not having good rubbing fastness property. See here, I have also shown this material. What is it? A leather bag. Initially it is like this, and after some few days these leather bags get converted into this type of material. That means this leather bag is also not having good rubbing fastness. So rubbing fastness are nothing but what? It should have stability towards rubbing. Okay, that dyed material or a printed material should have stability towards rubbing. Reactive, dispersed dyes and direct dyes have good rubbing fastness. The reactive dyes, dispersed dyes and direct dyes have good rubbing fastness. Now next property is what? Bleaching fastness. Bleaching fastness. Dyes should have good resistance toward bleaching agents. You know chlorine. Chlorine is what? One of the good bleaching agents. Also sodium hypochlorite. Sodium hypochlorite is a liquid bleaching agent. So our dyes or a printed fabric or a dyed clothes should have good stability towards these bleaching agents. If they are not having good stability towards bleaching agents, what will happen at the time of washing of these clothes? Then there will be some fading of color will occur, or there will be a decomposition of these dyed material will occur. So that dyed material or a dyed fabric is not having good bleaching fastness property.